Hello everyone, welcome to Lab 7 Secure Network Access Control. So let me read out the scenario first. So the scenario is a medium-sized company, XYZ Corporation, has distinct department, HR, IT, and guest users. Each department has its own server containing sensitive information. The company wants to ensure that only authorized personnel can access their respective server. Additionally, they want to provide limited access to guest user while ensuring that internal system remains secure. So basically, today lab, the scenario we have that we have a three different department: HR, IT, and the guest user. And all the company have similar kind of structure. So HR and IT, they should access the internal server. That guest PC right here, this PC should not able to access the HR server or the IT server. That is the basically lab is. So let me show you how it is work. So first I'm going to click on the HR PC and I'm going to see if I'm able to open the HR server application. So IP address for the HR server is 192.168.10.100. So 192, oh, I have a 2 dot there. Yeah, you see, it's a welcome to the HR department. So I'm able to access this. So now let me see if I'm able to access the IT server. So IT server IP address is 101. So welcome to IT department. And also let me see if I can access the guest server from the HR. So it should be 1.100. 1.100. Okay, I am able to access the guest server. So now I'm going to click on the guest PC. And let me see if I am able to access the HR or IT server. Again is 192.168.10.100. Oh, 192 is, I have a wrong IP address, 168. So 192.168.10.100. So right now this guest PC try to access the HR department. So it will be request timeout. And what about the IT is 101. It also will timeout. Okay. And now let me see if this guest able to access the guest server, which is 1.100. 1.100. Yep. Welcome to guest server. So this guest PC able to access the guest server only. So that means our network is secure based on the scenario we have. So that is the lab that we are going to build today. Okay, so now let's get a start. Let me save this configuration before I delete. So I'm going to click new file, new. Okay, so it will be the blank here. So now what do I need? And also before I go for the building the project, so how we can secure the website for today lab. So we are going to use one of the concept called ACL, access control list. So what is the access control list is definition I provide here. And also you can, again, you should search in the Google to get more clarification what is the ACL is. So basically there is a two type of ACL. So one is a standard ACL and another one is extended ACL. So we are going to use the standard ACL today. So what is a standard ACL? So standard ACLs filter traffic based only on the source IP address. They are simple to configure but provide limited control over the traffic because they do not consider destination IP address or other parameter. So these two is not, we can do in the standard access list, but we can, if we use the extended ACL, we can use it. So what is the extended ACL? Extended ACL is provide more granular control over traffic by considering multiple parameters such as source and destination IP address, protocols, port number, etc. They offer greater flexibility but are more complex to configure compared to the standard ACL. Okay, so you can Google it and get more idea about extended ACL. Okay. So now this is our topology, network infrastructure. So we need Cisco router. So let me make a smaller little bit. So we need a Cisco router and model number is 4331. So this is our router. And then we need two Cisco switches, 2960. So 2960, 2960. And then we need a 3 server. One is for HR. So click on the endpoint, then server is here. So we need a HR, then we need a IT server, then we need a guest server, and guest server will be, I can put it here. This one is different. I am going to delete this one. Okay, so this is our guest server. Now let me rename name this server. So this one is what? This is a server. So you can just click on this text. So you can write here like this. So I can say HR server and IP address 192.168.10.100. Okay, or you can click on the server, then config, and you see the display name, right? So display name, you can copy this. Yeah. See? So now let me do the same thing for guest server. Config guest server also is done. Okay. So now the router is connected to the switch 1. So the switch 1, I think we have to reverse here. So this is switch, no, switch 1. Let me see, 10 dot. So this is the 10 network, right? So I can put the switch here. So let me rename the switch name as well. So config. So this one is going to be switch 1. And this one is going to be switch 2. Okay. So now, so switch 1 is switch 1. So router, so switch 1 should be connected with the port. Router is connected to the switch 1 with the port 0000. So between router and switches, we have to use the Ethernet cable. So this is the port number, and we can connect with the first Ethernet 01, and then switch 1, port first Ethernet 01, so that is done. So router is connected to the switch 2 with the gigabit 01. So again, gigabit 001 and switch port is first Ethernet 01. So router connection is done. So now switch 1 is connected to the H1's server with the first Ethernet 02. So again, switch to server, Ethernet cable, and what about the IT? IT is first Ethernet 03. So first Ethernet 03, first Ethernet 0. Switch also done. Now switch 2. Now I need to get a PC. So I need a 3 PC. 1, 2, and 3. So what is the name of the PC with the IP address? Again, I can name this PC HR. And this one should be IT. And this one is guest PC. Okay. Now, so that, okay. So now I have to make a connection, right? So switch to connect it to the PC. So doesn't mention any port, so I can use any port. So let's see, first Ethernet 0. So I can connect with the 02. This one is 03, 04. And what about 1.10? IT server, what about the guest server? So this is the guest PC. So guest server is not mentioned here, but I can use any port, okay? So let's say I am going to use port number 10. Okay. So now I have to configure like this, all the IP address I have to configure. Like I just name it, right? I didn't give the IP address yet. So double click on the server desktop. And this one IP address is 192.168.10.100. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and gateway should be 192.168.10.1. We will configure this IP address on the router interface. And what is the DNS server? So DNS server is the same as the IP address. Okay, so we are done with the HR. Now let's configure this one with IT server 192.168.10.101, and default gateway is 192.168.10.1, and this will be the DNS server. So we are done this. Let me complete this one as well. So desktop 192.168. This one going to be on network. Okay, so on .10. And default gateway is 192.168.1.1, and the server should be this. Now I have to configure the PC. 192.168.1.1 subnet mask PC, right? So it's going to be 1.2 1.2 and default gateway. Oops. 192.168.1.2 and 192.168.1.1. I don't need to provide the DNS for now. And now I'm going to move this ITPC. On 192.168.1.3. 192.168.1.3. Now 1.1. Now I have to configure the guest PC here. 192.168.1.10. Okay, so 1.10 is took by server, so you have to provide different IP. So 192.168.1.9. 192.168.1.1. All right, so we are done all the configuration. Now let's see if we are able to access the guest server from this PC. On 192.168.1.10. Yeah, we are able to see it. Okay, so now you see is say Cisco packet tracer, right? So if you want to change that, we also can change it on the server. So go to server and go, click on the service, then HTTP index edit, and I can remove everything here. Welcome to guest server, and can change this to learn with Rubel. Okay, so I can apply the change to all three services. Let me click on the HR, then click on service, HTTP index HTML, right? Click on edit. You can remove everything. Command V, and this should be the HR server. Save, yes. And now is the IT services, HTTP, command V, and this should be IT. Yes. Okay, we can close this one. So now let me see if I'm able to ping from IT to the HR. Click on desktop, web services, web browser. One 192.168.10.100. Welcome to HR server 10.101. Okay, so now if I try to ping 1.10, which is guest 1.10, obviously it will not be reach out because we have to configure the router. Okay, so we done with the configuration for switches, router, and all the endpoint end devices. Now we have to configure the router. So double click the router. So click no. Enable 150. So now first, let's configure gigabit 0/0/0. So interface gigabit 0/0/0, IP address 192.168.10.1, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and NOSHA exit. So now I have to apply for this port here, gigabit 0/0/1, and this is the network is 1. Okay, so interface 0/0/0/1, and the IP address is 1.1. This is the default gateway, and no shut exit. And now let's before we apply the ACL, standard access control list, to see if the guest is able to access all the web services or not. Okay, so desktop, open web browser. Now let's try with the guest server first, 192.168.1.10. This is the guest server, this one. Now let's do the HR, which is 10.100. Okay, so 10.100. So this is HR. See, this is the HR's server. And now let's access the IT. What is the IT server? So now guest is able to access all three applications. Right? Now we are going to apply the standard access control list. So this way, the guest will not able to access IT and the HR application server. Okay. So now double click on the router. Let me close this, and this is the two comment we have to use. So let me copy the comment. So copy. So access list 1, permit host. So you have to give the permission. So we have to give the permission to the HR and the IT, not the content. So you're telling the access list 1. So you can tell like 1 to 199. So this is the number, access list number, and we are going to permit this host. Again, up arrow will take you the previous comment, and now 1 and 3. Okay, so these two network will be under the access list number 1, and we are allowed these two devices, and then we are going to say access list number 1, then deny any IP, any host, like only these two will be permitted. Okay, so this is the access list we created. Now we have to tell what port we are going to apply this access list. So when like this host, this input is connected to this switch, and this switch port is connected to the router. So if you want to put here this access list, so you have to tell the in, and this is called out. So let me apply the access control list on this port, on output, on because this is going out to the application server. Okay, so interface gigabit 0/0/0, and I have to say IP access group 1 out. So it will, like whenever I'm going to send the request again from guest network, it will filter here. It will say, hey, are you permit to view this application or not? Okay. and then it will see the access control list and it will deny. Now if I go back again, okay, so now 192.168.10.100 is try to send the request. Now it will be denied. It will be say request timeout. See, if I do for 101, which is IT server, it also will say the request timeout. But if I want to access the guest server, I will have no problem. So it should be 1.100. Oh, I mean 1.10, sorry. Yeah, you see, guest server. So now let me make sure that HR and IT is able to access the HR department. It's 192.168.10.100. And what about IT? Yeah, so, and let me try from the IT PC. One 192.168.10.100. I'm able to access and 101 IT server. Okay, so I am able to access the HR and the IT application from the HR and IT PC, but the guest PC I'm not able to access because I apply the access control list. Thank you.